everybody. It's Dave here from Vikings First and SKOL. And hopefully you're ready to talk some NFC North. Because in the North, where the frozen winds bite and they blow, four fierce tribes battle through the ice and through the snow. Week 14's tale, hear the clamor and din. Who will be king? Let the roundup begin. Packers seize the lead with a 28-21 over the rival Bears neath the Lambeau sun. Lions roared loud, 44-30 they claimed. Gibbs thundered thrice, while the Cowboys were tamed. Vikings, the spoilers in purple array, shut out the Commanders, 31, no delay. Standings now, Packers 9-3-1, Bears 9-4, Lions 8-5 on the run. The Vikings 5-8, still ready to spoil. The crown hangs high in this division toil. With pay from Chicago, raw frustration in his voice. Foster from Detroit, roaring one pride, rejoice. And your humble host, Dave, SKOL through and through on the Fans First Sports Network. We debate it with you. So strap on your helmets, gather round the fire bright. The rhymes roll on. Who claims the North's might? Let the battles begin. Hey there, everybody. We are gathered here today to talk the NFC North, and I have two of the three teams represented, or the two of the three broadcasters representing their teams. Of course, we have no Packers team because they have no cojones to come on the show. But we have pay from the Chicago Bears, the frustrated, pissed off, no good, perturbed Chicago Sports Channel. He's here. Hey, Pay, how you doing?
Could be better. I got comfortable sitting in that perch seat of the conference. The seats down here, Coach, not as comfortable. Don't like it.
And then we have Foster from Bleachers to Speakers, Motown's best. Covers all of Detroit sports. From baseball, basketball, he's even got a hockey poster up behind him. But he's here to discuss his Detroit Lions. How you doing, Foster?
We're back. Maybe.
Well, as I titled this episode, NFC North, Packers lead, but Bears and Lions lurk, and the Vikings play spoiler. We'll get to that. But first, we need to discuss a game that was played last Thursday, which seems like 8 weeks ago, but it was only Thursday, where the Detroit Lions took on the Dallas Cowboys and whooped some butt. Foster, you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, we did. We had another home game, and we bounced back. We put up 44 points. We now stand at 8-5, and our chances of getting into the playoffs are still alive. We had some significant injuries on the defensive side of things, but we held it down. We got to the quarterback 5 times. Al-Qadim Muhammad had 3 sacks and was Defensive Player of the Week almost say year, of the week. We coupled with that, we had 2 interceptions and we forced a fumble as well. We did give up some big plays. Des Bryant, is that right? No, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb and Flournoy both went for 100 yards receiving, but we did enough to get the victory. We had a balanced attack from the pass and run. Jahmyr Gibbs had 3 touchdowns. Montgomery had 1, and Goff threw for 309 yards. St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, it did not look good after that Thanksgiving game, but he was back in the game on Thursday, and him and J-Mo both had 9 targets apiece. So they found ways to get them both involved in the offense, and it showed, and it ended up well for us, to say the very least. We did have a pretty big injury. Brian Branch is out for the year with an Achilles injury, and the defense held it down. Terrion Arnold was already out for the year. Kirby Joseph missed another game, but we were able to hold the Cowboys to 5 field goals. Aubrey is who truly kept them in the game. He had 5 field goals, and I think Dak ended up scoring 2 touchdowns. So everything else was via the field goal, and that ended up being the reason that we won the ball game.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch the game, Pay?
I did watch the game. Fantasy implications. Des Bryant.
I don't know why. Showing my age, right? No, not too much age.
That's that AI. That's what that was. So
the robot
surprise to
hallucinating.
Me, yeah. The surprise to me is the miraculous turnaround for Mr. St. Brown. The way that injury looked, and the way they were talking about it, did not think he was going to play. But he did play, played pretty well. As a matter of fact, he got out there. He had a pretty standard ASB type of game against that Cowboys defense. I like to say that. He made some strong catches up the middle, made some strong football moves, and got a lot of yak yards on that one play. As far as Brian Branch is concerned, I want to say that you all are so used to playing a man down, and so to speak, or dealing with injuries, that is, you probably just can get past that. But Brian Branch, I mean, he is, other than Mr. Hutchinson, he is like the guy on your defense.
Jack Campbell was one of those guys as well. He's the most durable player on our team. I don't think he's ever knock on wood, has ever missed a game. But as far as the secondary concerned, I mean, he is the ultimate playmaker outside of Kirby Joseph, who we will be getting back. So hopefully, because they kind of said that it's not going to heal until he gets a significant amount of time off. So, hopefully he's at least 80%. I don't know. Is anybody 100% at this point in the year? So,
what's Kirby Joseph's issue?
Calf? Can't remember. I believe it's a calf injury.
Okay.
I thought that was Kirby. I thought that was Terrion.
Terrion's got a shoulder. That's his deal.
Well, you guys have been dealing with injuries.
Bone bruise in his knee, sorry.
Okay. That's not too bad, I guess. Always juice him up. And I'm sure Amon-Ra St. Brown took a shot before the game, too.
But it worked well, whatever.
Yeah, I'm more than certain that family is not foreign to under the table supplements. So
hey, there are some legal ones they use.
True.
Toradol shot, isn't that? That's legal, right?
That's legal. It's legal.
It's legal. It's not as addictive as Vicodin back in the day. Brett Favre.
I haven't heard that one in a while. Yeah. Yeah, good old Brett. Is he in jail yet?
No. Now, I did watch, and not only did Amon-Ra look good, Jahmyr was just outstanding. And it sucks that you guys have two good wide receivers.
Sucks for.
But it sucks for the rest of the league.
Yeah. So that's why we paid him. That's why we paid him.
As long as you beat the Packers. That's all I give a shit about.
Didn't do that.
But you beat the Cowboys, and we'll get into my team playing the Cowboys this week. But that's a little bit later. But I thought your game with Gibbs and Montgomery racking up 172 yards, the Amon-Ra and Jahmyr racking up yards. It was just a well-round offensive game plan. And it was good to see you still threatening in the North, unlike the Minnesota Vikings. So from that game, we move on to the next game. Speaking of the Packers, Chicago took on the Packers and lost on a last-second throw that fell short. Tell us about it, Pay.
Same old with the Bears, right? The story of this season has been start slow, figure some things out at halftime, and come back and kick the team's ass. Tried to do it again with Green Bay. Just fell a little bit short. There's been a lot of conversation about clock management in that last drive. Should Caleb had a different read? Should he have not thrown the ball to Cole Kmet? Should he have even ran for that first down? Just a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking. But I'm here to say that Caleb did make the right decision. That was the right read. I mean, you're in the enemy's house. Go for the throw. They haven't been able to stop you none that drive. They haven't been able to stop you all that half. Go ahead and take them out. You would have liked to see Caleb notice Cole a little earlier because he was wide open. Yeah. When he did notice him, Nixon had already noticed Cole Kmet running around free and got back there to make that game-saving interception. I would like to see Cole Kmet use his height advantage in that situation. He was back there about long enough. The ball was in the air long enough for him to adjust to the ball. Go up there and, you got 6 inches on Nixon. Go catch that pass. Go be a hero for Chicago. Other than that, the Bears fall to 9-4. Packers now are sitting on top of the division. I don't like to say that, but I do want to, give credit where it's due. Last year, the Packers really got swept by the division. They was pretty much winless in the division last season. Now they're perfect in the division, right? They're 5-0, 4-0 so far. So football is funny in that ways, right? NFL, nothing's too permanent for too long. That's all the praise I'm gonna get the Packers. Slight praise, a little bit. I still hate those guys, but the Bears are still in control of their own destiny. They've done enough in doing their NFC schedule up to this point that if they handle their business from this point on, they should still comfortably make the playoffs. But wouldn't it be something if the one season in a long time that the Bears are finally good, that 11-win team misses the playoffs, and it happens to be that season the Bears got their act together?
It could be, but we'll see. Now, I know Swift and Monungai had a great game together. You guys have a running game. If all else fails, run the ball. Right?
Well, yeah, Ben Johnson likes a strong running game, and Monungai, as they put on his screen during that game, he's one of the best rookie running backs so far this season. 7th round draft pick. I'm gonna keep reminding everybody that we found ourselves a diamond in the rough there. But him, Swift, the offensive line, who I think is going to probably have 3 guys, maybe even 4 Pro Bowlers, maybe even 2 All-Pros. It comes towards the end of the season. They had their way with the Packers, mostly in the second half. The first half wasn't a bad job, but the second half they eliminated Michael Parsons. They made some concerted efforts to be a little bit more physical, run the ball, as you said, Dave, and put one foot in the ground and go straight forward. That's zone blocking scheme, and the way that Swift and Monangai just see the hole, hit the seam, and get in that alley and do some real positive. It's been nothing short as a refresher. It's been, like I said, it's been refreshing, so to speak. Sorry, it's been refreshing seeing that after a few seasons of not seeing that kind of muddy in the waters of our running game, especially coming from Mr. Swift last season. But this year, the one thing we can't hang our hats on offense has been that running game.
Mm-hmm. Rome Odunze's out, isn't he? Isn't he hurt?
He's been dealing with a foot injury I'm not gonna say all season, but for a few weeks now, maybe even a little more than a month. He did miss that game against the Packers. His availability for going forward is still up in the air.
Well, it would be nice. Sure looks like Burton and Moore didn't step up in his absence.
Well, Burton had a good game.
Did he?
DJ, I was about to get right to DJ. DJ, that's been another talk ever since that game. What has happened to DJ and his role, and what is his role in this offense? Man, for the highest paid Bear ever, he is pretty absent, and I don't know what to say about that. I mean, you could have easily seen the writing on the wall when they drafted Luther Burton in the second round that maybe DJ's not going to be here too much longer. But wow, he has been pretty much. I mean, I think he only had one. He had one catch in that game, and it was a behind. Thanks, Tom Brady, for teaching me something in that game. That if you passes behind the line of scrimmage are not eligible for pass interference, because he was definitely interfered with on that pass. But that was the only. That was his only catch. Well, he didn't catch that ball, but his only catch was some type of another screenplay when he got blew up on. It's like DJ Moore has a lot of talent. DJ Moore has done a lot of things in this league. We've got to scheme. You got to do a better job of scheming him more into this offense, because he's way too talented. His check is way too heavy for him to just be just a guy on this offense.
Yep. Well, I think we're rooting for you. I know we were, because you were playing the Packers, and y'all let us all down. But
somebody got it. Wow, I did not want to believe that was actually a thing, but Jordan Love, yeah, okay,
it seems to be
one more little bit of a praise to those green guys. Jordan Love looked pretty good, especially against the defensive approach that Dennis Allen threw out there at him. If you all go back and listen to the review we did up on the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel, Jordan Love against the Blitz was 8 for 11, if I'm not mistaken, with 2 touchdowns. And against man coverage, no, I'm sorry, that was against man coverage. Against the Blitz, he was 8 for 10. And I don't know. It took us way too long to figure that out. Jordan Love is coming into the game. You already knew Jordan Love was one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if not the best in the league on third down and against the blitz. He's been pretty spectacular, and he exposed the Bears each time in those situations. Third and long. He got all his touchdowns on third and long. All of them over 20 yards per. Each one of them situations where we went cover zero, or we just had to send the house at them because our front line wasn't doing the job of getting any type of pressure. He exposed us. He made us look really bad, and that's gonna be another area of another area we need to again fix come this offseason because the defensive line we can't continue to go on with like this. Yeah, we're just not doing what we need to do. Montez Sweat, he did get the one sack that game, and curiously enough, that sack and that interception that Jordan Love threw, they both came in zone coverage. Previously, Jordan Love had not won a game when he turned the ball over. Turned the ball over this game, and he ended up winning. So, in those respects, I know a lot of people in the Bears media, 670, ESPN 1000, a lot of other places, they're not hanging their heads over this loss. I'm not necessarily one of them people. I don't believe in moral victories. Those are for minor league coaches, and I hate them cockroaches. I wanted the W. I'm not necessarily hanging my head over this loss, but there were a lot of things that we could have cleaned up. That game was there to be won. So I am not happy that we had to come away with an L over a game that we should have walked out with a dub.
Well, hopefully you'll get the split here in 9 or 10 days or whenever week.
Oh yeah, we running it back with them guys.
16 is for you guys. Down in Chicago. And speaking of Chicago, we haven't had any stadium talk in a while. I heard Pritzker's demanding that the Chicago Bears owes $500 and some odd million. The Chicago Bears are telling him, go suck it. We owe you nothing.
Oh no, they gonna pay that. Ain't got no choice unless they want to leave Illinois, which
no, but that's
not.
They technically do not owe them anything. They paid off their portion of the stadium bill.
Well,
and
I'm only.
And they talked about giving we'll give you a $25 million bonus on the way out, but no, we don't owe you squat.
From what I read, and this isn't the Bears POV, but what I've read comes from largely Springfield. Those taxes are still owed, and it's been talked about for a little while, over more than months, that there was going to be a holdup when their eventual move to Arlington Heights over those taxes. Again, the lease on Soldier Field, well, they're not lease, but their tenancy
to rent,
right? And Soldier Field isn't up for another
2 or 3 years.
7 years. 2032, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's time for them to figure out that money situation, but that has been not proposed, but it's been bandied about.
Is that 500 and some odd million, the 7 years worth of rent?
I don't know how much the Bears pay in rent. I would think that the Bears don't pay anything in rent. I would think that it was some because there's probably some handshake deals going on. I'm not sure, but
facilities commission, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
whatever.
Stuff of that nature. But yeah, it's been. Pritzker said that before, that tax bill or whatever 500, whatever term they want to attach to it, the Bears are going to have to come up with that at some point, and it's bargaining tools. They don't want the Bears to just push away from the table and going about their business to Arlington Heights. There is still some talking. That's really all this comes down to. We're not done talking to you yet, so come on back to this table.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And the Bears been trying to get away from that table for, again, 50 years. Ever since they left Wrigley Field, the Bears have been not pleased with where they play football.
Gotcha. All right. We go from that game to the final game of last weekend. The Minnesota Vikings 31 donut shutout of the Washington Commanders on Sunday night. Now, what was interesting about this game is, as Too Evil says, Kathy, is J.J. McCarthy had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and was productive. And he was. Obviously, our defense was as well. Our defense rocks. But JJ was 18 for 25. I think it was 100 and some odd yards. It was still low. 3 TDs, 0 interceptions, 125 QB rating, the third highest QB rating out of everybody on the weekend. But what's interesting is Kevin O'Connell keeps poking him. He's not learning Kevin's system. He has to simplify it, quote, to make it work. Well, that's what happens when you have a young quarterback. Did you guys watch this game? Should have. It was Sunday night. It's the only game on.
Oh, yeah. I called most of it. In parlay. It went about the way I expected. I expected the defense to prop up J.J. McCarthy. That defense has been ass. Was it 9 losses in a row? And they give up a lot of chunk plays to quarterbacks. They give up a lot of completions on third down. They don't necessarily pressure the quarterback very well. It went the way it's supposed to. Hopefully, I mean, it's a good springboard for the quarterback situation in Minnesota. But
no, Foster, you're hoping not. You're on mute, buddy.
You guys are about to. My bad. Yeah. You guys are about to play us, so don't get your confidence back together, quick enough to beat us again. No.
Well, I mean, the again part is the problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
hey, if it works, it works. I'm all for it. But it was an improvement. We stayed alive. Technically, we have a 0.5% chance to make the playoffs. It will take a whole boatload of magic to happen. And we'll be officially eliminated if the Bears win this weekend. Now, I said that about the Packers and was wrong, but hopefully I'm not on this one. Hopefully. We'll see. But the Minnesota Vikings moved to 5-8. We did not move on our draft selection. We're still number 11. So for those that are tanked for the draft pick, which no sports team or very few NFL teams, especially not the Vikings, are going to do. But we'll see. It's a stepping stone to see how J.J. McCarthy develops. The O-line was 100% healthy, which was great. It's the second time they've played. The week before, they got 2 guys got injured this week. None were injured. They played great. We had good running production. Passing was decent. Now, Justin Jefferson's still a little underutilized. And if you have him in fantasy, you're crying this year. But it was a good win. Going from one shutout by the Seattle Seahawks to shutting out the Washington Commanders. Now, with that, we're going to take a break, get our popcorn, and we'll be right back after this music. And we're back. We do appreciate you. If you're listening to the podcast, you're going to listen to some ads there, and we appreciate that because it pays us a couple pennies to keep us in our Garrett's popcorn and Dave and his whiskey, which is always a good thing. So, we move on to week 15. This Sunday. We all play on Sunday. And it starts out with Chicago Bears at Cleveland. No, in Chicago, Soldier Field. But versus Cleveland and their fantastic defense. Is Caleb Williams going to survive the best rusher in the NFL?
He survived all of them so far this season. I'm more concerned about his survival of the weather on Sunday. It's supposed to be 20 under at kickoff. I mean, colder than it was in his last game against the Packers. I mean, you saw a helmet explode in that game.
Yeah.
This game is going to be colder than that. And right off the lake, I'm more concerned about how these guys don't break apart themselves off of any hit. But on the field, possibly frozen tundra come Sunday.
I was going to ask how
Myles Garrett.
The way the stadium keeps up that grass, it's probably going to be solid.
Yeah, this probably will be the best surface they played on all season. You're right, Dave. I'm not sure how many sacks Myles Garrett got in his last game. We were hoping that he had already broke the record before he got to this game, so he can maybe calm down and take some plays off. But I have not heard that he is broken. I have not heard that he is close to breaking it. So yes, we're gonna need all hands on deck once again to protect the franchise. Caleb Williams has escaped a lot of sacks this season. When TJ Watt, another 20. So he needs 3 to break it, right? Okay.
Which could happen Sunday.
It could happen Sunday. Fingers crossed it doesn't. I hope he breaks it. Just I don't want to see it. I'll see it on SportsCenter. A lot of the pressures he has evaded and the sacks that he's gotten himself out of this season, it haven't come against a player at this magnitude. Myles Garrett is not only the best pass rusher in the game today, he's probably one of the best of all time. When TJ Watt, somebody who's also in his class, got a chance to get to him, Caleb couldn't get away. The technique is just too sound. And Myles Garrett, he has the technique and he has the strength and he definitely has the speed to track you down too. So I wouldn't need I can assume Ben Johnson's going to run the ball a lot because of the elements and because of what I just said about Myles Garrett. But B, he's probably going to do a lot of that, what he did in the second half to get away from Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons was creating an issue for the Bears in the first half of that game as well. So he started moving the pocket, getting Caleb to roll out to the right a lot of, and Caleb was finding a lot of success at that. So if we got to move away from Micah, do what you got to do. Now, I say all this, and Caleb did have that turnover going to the left. Should have been to the right again. But that was in the past. More for this game. The defense does concern me. I had already said coming up while this game is 2-3 weeks away, when everybody was like, man, the Bears got a tough schedule. I said the team that scares me the most is the Browns. One is sandwiched between those two Packer games, so it has the obvious trap game elements. And two, that defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially after the way you lost this game to the Packers. It was an emotional loss, so you don't want to take those emotions into the next week, but I believe this team is going to have his head on right because they've done it all season. Ben has done a great job of making sure the guys keep the main thing the main thing. But other than that and the obvious issues that the defense present to the Bears, they have to also play offense. The Browns, they are a terrible offense. As I said, Myles Garrett is maybe one of the best edge rushers of all time. That offense is one of the worst of all time. They have scored over 20 one time, I think, in the last 25 games, and that was last week against the Titans.
With Shedeur Sanders starting. He's going to be starting this weekend, too.
Yeah. I can probably over under. How many passes Quishon Judkins going to throw? I'm gonna put the line at 2. So I'm anxious to see Mr. Shedeur Sanders. I'm not necessarily with the all of the discourse surrounding Mr. Sanders. I hope he does well in his career, but not this week. I think he's got a long way to go. there is some obvious issues, flaws in his game, which say the same for all rookies, right? And I hope the Bears expose most of that stuff. He's not like Jordan Love. He can't pick apart man reads. He can't pick apart complex blitz schemes. Dennis Allen, he said numerous times that so far this season, he's got dozens of different cover 3 looks. So let's put him to the test. Let's see what this young kid can do.
Well, I think you guys should beat them. You're favored by 7.5. Over and under is only 39.5, but from what I see. And all the money
39.5
you guys.
Yeah, I mean, all of that is fair. I mean, not just because I'm a Bears fan, Bears podcaster. All those things is fair. If you've watched Bears, if you watched the Browns all this season, 7.5 is fair. 39 with the weather where it's going to be, it's fair. The Browns cannot score 20 points. Fair. The Bears average 27. So all of this fair.
I got a off-ball question. Do you know what uniforms are you wearing? Are you going to wear your solid orange ones?
I would hope not, Dave, because that's gonna be tacky. that would be really tacky. Probably just standard blues.
Okay. Interesting. Well, you guys are the first up. You play at 1:00 on Sunday. And then we get to the next 2 games, which play in the afternoon slot. First one is Detroit at the Los Angeles Rams. Are you afraid of this one, Foster? It's in
we're in
L.A.
Yeah, it's in LA. We're going against Matt Stafford, who just, he's still rolling. He's still an elite quarterback, and he's always brings his best against his old team. So he's coming in with one of the top offenses in the league. They got a pretty good running back, but that kind of gets overshadowed by the fact that they have 2 elite receivers as well. They got Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Adams has 14 touchdowns this year, and they're a team that handles business in the red zone on both sides of the ball. The defense is not great, but they do get after the quarterback pretty good. They got 2 pretty good pass rushers in Jared Verse and Byron Young, who's having a pretty good year. But I think the biggest keys for us are going to be taking care of the ball, because they do like to create turnovers, and controlling the red zone, holding them to field goals like we did, holding them to field goals the way we did with the Dallas Cowboys last week, and just taking care of the ball ourselves. We know that when our offense is at its best, we can score with the best of them. But I don't know if we want to get in a shootout in LA against Matt Stafford and Adams and the guys. So
who's that quarterback? Do you know him?
Yeah, we know him. We know him pretty well. We traded him away and got him a ring, and we got a pretty good quarterback ourselves, and he's got a pretty good record against Matthew Stafford. The year they won the Super Bowl, they beat us, but other than that, I think we beat them in the playoffs twice.
Well, not last year. You guys were one and done.
Yeah.
We were one and done to them last year. So they're favored by 5.5 points with a 55.5 over and under. So they expect big time scoring, unlike the Bears-Browns game.
Yeah, there should definitely be some scoring in the game. Neither defense is just world beating, but at best, when they're both taking the ball away, that's what's bodes well for them.
It does. So let's see.
Got some key returns.
Do what?
Yeah, got some key key players returning to the lineup. Kirby Joseph. Christian Mahogany has been limited in practice, so I'm not 100% sure if he'll return. But Khalif Raymond as well should be back in the lineup.
Okay. Has Davenport stayed healthy?
Davenport has played the last 2 games. He hasn't been super active. He hasn't made a lot of noise, but hey, maybe that's the route to Al-Qadim Muhammad having 3 sacks, is that he was a little bit more rested, or I don't know, but he's in there.
I don't like Al-Qadim Muhammad. He tore us up first time we played. He was a pain on the rushing side. So
he's been quiet, but he's had a couple big games, to say the very least.
Okay, cool. Well, the next game for the division is at the same time over on CBS. Your game's on Fox, and it will be the Fox Sunday game. I'm assuming the nationwide broadcast, but on CBS at 4 o'clock, 4:25 to be exact. Same with your kickoff. The Green Bay Packers at the Denver Broncos. Now, Mr. Toyotathon is going to go into Denver, and he's riding, hey, it's December. It's Toyotathon. I can beat these guys. But Denver's on a 10-game winning streak at altitude. It's going to be interesting. Denver's stingy defense is top 5 in points allowed. Could they win and cement themselves as the number 1 seed in the AFC?
I have been anti-Denver all season, except for this week.
I hope you're right. I do hope you're right. It's going to be interesting because I'm curious. But Denver held Cleveland under 200 yards passing. If they can hold Love and Watson and Crew to well under that, Denver's going to walk out with the win, my opinion.
Denver's more equipped to attack Green Bay's weaknesses more so than the Bears could, even though the Bears came close, right? As far as anybody else lately with Green Bay Packers. But the Bears can't pressure Jordan Love. That's really what lost them that game. The Denver Broncos can get after you. They can get after you with not just one guy. You don't have just a Myles Garrett or just a Michael Parsons. They got Nick and a bunch of other guys. They can do some damage. And the Packers offensive line they are down some bodies. They have done some reshuffling across that offensive line all season. I expect Vic Fangio and not Vic Fangio, I'm sorry, I'm some errors away. But I expect the Denver Broncos to be able to attack those weaknesses. Get after
Manning. Or not Manning. Peyton. Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. I expect them to be able to get after Jordan Love, at least make him think about some things. And they don't play a lot of. Well, let me not say that. They do play. They play a good mix of man and zone. Surtain, he follows people. He is a traditional man quarter. He will put you on an island. Even though I don't think Packers wide receivers are type of wide receivers you actually need to highlight in that fashion. But he is a cut off one side of the field type of guy. Jordan Love, that Toyotathon stuff stops Sunday. He is going to come back to earth in a major way. He's going to fall to earth the same way Thor's hammer fell to earth in that first movie. Just a loud thud.
Hey, I hope so. Now, the Packers are favored by 2.5 points with an over-under of 43.5. Money is slightly on the Packers. I think it's going to be a good game.
If you like defense.
The robot here says they picked the Broncos 20-17. Denver's home dominance, 6-0.
I don't disagree with the robot. Remember that. Remember that when you take over the world, Overlord. I did not disagree.
Mm-hmm. But yes. Now, Bulldog wants to know why everybody's thinking the Dallas wears their dark uniforms at home. And they do not wear their dark uniforms at home. They wear the whites. Now, question is, which whites? They have worn their whites so far, I think it's 15 times this year, and they will wear the whites on Sunday night when they play the Minnesota Vikings, when they host them. Only it's not the white jersey and the silver helmet and the silverish, pearlish green pants. It's the whites on whites with the white helmet, dark blue star, white jerseys with the blue shoulder wedges, and the white pants. So, and it's to pop out on TV, and that's generally why they wear it. Besides, it's tradition they wear white because it's usually warm, and it's always a disadvantage to put the home team in the darker colors when you're in Texas and you had a hole in the roof back in the day. So they will be wearing their whites on whites. Vikings will be wearing their traditional road or traditional home combination of purple jersey up top and white pants on the bottom. And they're scheduled to play Sunday night. Now, question is, can the Vikings remain the spoiler? Can the Vikings, after defeating the Redskins, the Washington the Commanders, can they come back and defeat the other NFC East team? And I know the Eagles hope we do. The Dallas Cowboys. It's Jerry World, so we don't know. All we do know is that both teams have the two best kickers in the NFC. Aubrey, who went 5 for 5 on field goals last weekend, and Will Reichard, who set a record 2 weeks ago for the most consecutive kicks made beyond 59 yards this season, and has only missed 2 kicks because of camera wires, even though one was disputed not to be. It might come down to, like I said last night on Scoling with Friends, it might come down to the kickers on this one. Who has the ball last? Who's going to make that 50-yard plus field goal to win? But it's going to be interesting. The Cowboys are up favored by 6 points. Over-unders 45.5. Dak Prescott leads the number 1 scoring offense in the league, or yards producing offense, at 394, but he's going against the Minnesota Vikings defense, which is a top 5 defense in its own right. And the question is, can J.J. McCarthy continue to grow, not make mistakes, and get Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison in this game plan? If they do that and get them producing, I think the Minnesota Vikings have a chance to be spoilers and knock Dallas out of contention. Right now in the playoff seeds, Dallas is ranked 10th. We're ranked 11th. And like I said, we have 0.5% chance of making the playoffs, needing a whole bunch of magic. Dallas has a slightly easier chance. They have a 10% chance, but it takes a lot for them to win as well.
Foster, what did you all do? I don't know if was there anything in particular to get Pickens off his game, because he was coming off a mega game for Thanksgiving, and because I think right there is where this game is going to be won or lost for the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. Because CeeDee Lamb left that game with a concussion. So concussions are always murky. His availability will be up in the air. So the effectiveness of Dallas Cowboys is really all on Pickens, because even though Javonte Williams is having a great season, Jake Ferguson he's top tight end class. But with if Pickens is pouting on doing whatever the hell he was doing versus Detroit, the Vikings got better than a shot, Dave.
Well, we've got the number 4 ranked defense against passing. So hopefully we can shut down Pickens, because he and CD are, 2 of the best wide receivers combos in the league.
Yeah, I was just to your point about what we did. I mean, the one thing that he got called for a couple offensive pass interferences, and I think that kind of threw him off his game a little bit. I mean, the question has never been his talent. Sometimes it's up top, which has always held him back, and he's having a great year, like you said. So I don't necessarily anticipate him having another, especially if the game plan is going to be more catered surrounding him. It's going to be kind of, he'll be the focal point. Not to cut you loose. Sorry.
So you're telling me it's all on who's going to be the Zebras for this weekend?
I don't want to say that, but
Oh, it very well could. There's a huge disparity in which crew you get as to how the game goes. And that goes across the board, whoever they're playing. You get the guys that, just let the guys play, and everything seems to obviously flow smoother. And then you get the crew that calls a penalty anytime somebody even twitches. Let's see. Let me look. I don't want to do that. Close.
and it's in Dallas. So
It's in Dallas. Yeah. So now, which I believe Minnesota's won the last 2 or 3 in a row down in Dallas. Now, we've lost them up in U.S. Bank, but we've won them in Dallas. So it's going to be interesting. Sunday night crew. They haven't announced yet. Damn it. Or have they? I use footballzebras.com to track. And it's not showing. Oh, it's the Scott Novak crew. I wonder how he ranks.
One of the guys on my channel, he knows all the referees, NFL and NBA. It's something he's a bit of a nerd on. My boy Zeke, shout out to him. All you gotta do is tell him who's reffing the game, and he's gonna have an opinion. And he's like, you know what, we lost that game. That guy sucks.
Mm-hmm.
is he an official? Is he because my Tigers co-host, he's a referee himself, so he knows all the umps, all the.
Mm-hmm.
But how else do you get that into it like that? I don't know.
He's just a ump hater. That's it. Yeah.
Oh,
that's just all it is.
Well, it's curious. It's good to have somebody like that in your crew to supply you with information. I'm looking for this dude, Scott Novak's grades, and I'm not finding them at the moment. That'll have to be after the show. But hopefully he's not one that calls every stinking thing that happens. But we'll see.
Hey. Sunday night games are known to be long games. So, I mean, if he does, hey, we just got bonus football, Dave.
Yes. And then we can get into a discussion of what's a touchdown. What's a pass catch? Why does it take 3 feet? How do you get 3 feet in when you only have 2?
Was Novak? He that wasn't his crew in Baltimore, was it?
I don't know.
Ugh. Because that was a terrible call.
Oh, it was horrible. But something they got to fix in the offseason, and we'll see if they do or do not address it. What they need to do is pay these guys full-time and make it a full-time job, my opinion. And then standardize everything. But who knows?
I mean, they get a raise now.
Mm-hmm. So, hopefully, we will all win this weekend. Chicago to keep their hopes alive, just to be dashed here in the last 2 weeks. Detroit, same thing, just to lose in week 17. And the Vikings, of course, to play spoiler. With that, what do we say, gentlemen? First off, Pay, where can they find you?
As always, over at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan, we've got the market cornered on aggravated takes from all the local squads. The Bulls, the Bears, Blackhawks, Cubs, Sox, who just got the number 1 pick that they'll eventually trade away in 7 years. And all the rest. Chicago Sky, DePaul, basketball, everywhere. Come on, check us out. We've got a lot of things cooking over there.
You got Blackhawks yet?
Oh, we talk Blackhawks. It's scant, but we do.
Okay. Foster, where can they find you?
Bleachers to Speakers for all YouTube content, but we also cover the Pistons and Tigers at the shows called Corner to Copa and Post Game Podcast as well.
Okay. And this is an old screenshot. You're well over 220 subscribers, aren't you?
Creeping up on 300, not too much more, but yeah, we had about 290.
If you're my Vikings gang, go over there and hit subscribe. They deserve it. It's a good channel, especially if you like the other sports like basketball and baseball. You don't have the Red Wings yet, do you?
Nope, not yet.
You're working on it. And they're working on it. So, with that, you can always find us, you know where. Vikings First and SKOL. What do they say in Chicago, Bay?
Bear down. Chicago
down
Bears.
To 7th seed. And Foster, what do they say in Detroit?
Help me out.
Nah, I got to hit the volume. There we go. And, of course, in Minnesota, we always say, SKOL Vikings! Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and rate us on your favorite podcast aggregator. Thank you for listening to this NFC North group effort on the Fans First Sports Network. This has been a Frustrated Chicago Sports Fans, Bleachers to Speakers, Vikings First and SKOL, and of course, the Fans First Sports Network production. Thank you for listening.